Hey, Mom.
Good morning, Katie. I'm
So,
sad today.
yeah, I know you are. Well, for anyone, we're doing chapter 25, and you're like, okay. And what you're going to say here, Mom, probably doesn't make sense. We record these in batches, if you can't tell by our outfits. So
Yeah.
we have the last four episodes. And why
Yeah.
are you sad?
I'm sad because I've so enjoyed doing these with you, and as well as I know you, I've learned more about you, and I just I'm going to be sad to not do these anymore.
Well, we still can if you want.
Okay.
Like, we can just
Okay.
hop on.
I think we should do our own podcast, Katie and Mom.
Oh, that's what's going to be called. You're really good
Yeah.
at this
Yeah.
marketing thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's wrong with that?
I love that, like, you are like, let's do a podcast together, knowing that you're only going to be here talking to me and I have to do everything else. Like
Well,
that
yeah. I mean, and what's the
that's
problem with that?
obviously nothing, I
Yeah,
guess, you know?
not to me.
So, well, you could just come on the different ability podcast more often and we can have these
Okay,
discussions and talk, and
okay, I
maybe
will.
someday when I'm doing this all full time, then we can talk about a podcast more,
Okay,
okay?
all
Jeez.
right,
Or you can
sounds
learn how
good.
to edit and then you can do them.
I might even consider doing that. You never
Oh,
know.
you'd probably be pretty good at it, honestly. So
Yeah,
it's not too
yeah.
hard. Well, let's dive into chapter 25 for everyone that's just jumping in and you're probably very confused and you've never watched another episode and this is the first one. I'm Katie. This is my beautiful mom, Lynn. And I do this because I don't know when I edit. I should have just looked at an old video that we did and figured out if I point this way, if I'm pointing to you, but whatever. So we wrote a book together called Embracing Your Different Ability, and we are diving into each and every chapter, more questions, more craziness, a lot of fun, little weirdness, and
That would
yeah,
be me. Thank you very much.
both, but yes, definitely you. And we also have episodes over on the podcast, the Different Ability podcast as well. And so they're different questions. So a ton of free content here for you. And down below, there will be a link to the podcast episode for this chapter as well. And obviously, a link to get the book.
Go get the book.
Yeah, please. All right, let's dive
Okay,
into chapter 25.
chapter 25. Katie, you talk about um, the passing of great Aunt Lynn. How did her passing inspire you to keep going with your advocacy? And what would you say to others who have experienced a loss and are looking for a way to turn that grief into purpose?
Woo. Well, yes, the passing of Great Aunt Lynn was very unexpected. I share a lot about it in the book. It was very difficult. I had a lot of emotions, obviously sadness, grief, but also mad. And you can get into the book about that. You're probably like, why would you be mad? Just go read it.
Yeah.
And not mad at her, obviously, kind
No,
of mad at the
no.
world. And so, yeah, I guess for me in this situation, I thankfully did listen to my gut, and after speaking at her celebration of life party, like realizing like, okay, there's a bigger purpose here. There's something more here that I need to keep doing. And again, back then I truly didn't really know what that looked like, but
Yeah,
I always kept the possibility of something else open. I let that just sit there. I didn't leave that event and then go start being a huge speaker. No, I like
no,
very
no.
s slowly and randomly would do different speaking things and talk publicly more about it and all of that stuff. And so I guess I can't obviously tell you how to deal with your grief or anything like that. Like 100% it's different for every single person. But for me, Aunt Lynn was taken from this earth way too soon. Way
Yeah,
too soon. And I felt like the things that she did, and I only knew that at a very high level, really. I
right.
wasn't involved in everything that she did at all, but I knew she impacted. I mean, from that party alone, I saw how much she
Yeah,
impacted people. Leaving there thinking like, wow, I do have a story. She thankfully is part of my story. And I'm
right,
very lucky that she's part of my story. I need to keep sharing this story because she's not here anymore to be able to do that and help
right.
others. new people. Even if you're gone, the impact is still real. And, you know, I think about it like she's been gone for quite a long time now. And I'm like, me sharing about her and talking about her helps her live on.
Right, right.
When
And
her,
her purpose and her,
yeah,
her drive.
yeah. And so, not saying like I took her purpose and was like, this is mine now. No, like
No.
it helped me realize one of my purposes. I have lots of them, but one that I want to keep doing this to heal me and my little younger self, but
Yeah,
also to help others not feel alone or dumb or stupid like I did before I was diagnosed. I can't,
yeah,
I don't want that for anyone. I guess if you lose someone and it's a major loss and hit and which usually it is,
yeah.
I would I would dig deep and start thinking about things that and it could be as simple as just keeping their memory alive. It's something as simple as, hey, I wanna talk more about this person or whatever. And I'm not gonna tell all of the story because it's not mine to tell, but I met with an old client of mine yesterday. And this is a woman and husband and wife, that I helped design and then the company I worked for build their beautiful, beautiful home. And it was the last home I designed before I went into sales. I hadn't seen her in 10 years. And our paths crossed again because I reached out to her about something totally different to help someone else that needed help. And I knew she'd be a great fit and mentioned that I am writing a book. And then I think it was when I was out in Colorado, so a couple weeks ago, reached out to me and said, can we get together? I want to ask you questions about the book process because we have, I think it was 90 letters from her husband's mom. Her
Oh,
husband's mom wrote letters about her life to her great grandchild.
oh,
And it's a really beautiful story and really unique because, like, they wanted her to write down her life story. And his mom was like, no, I don't want to do that. And then they tweaked it and said, what about letters? Will you write a letter
yeah.
about these each
Oh,
letter? So I think they had 90. And
wow.
they're putting this all together and they want to get it published. And I'm just like, it's the most beautiful thing. I literally have goosebumps thinking about it right now. And so it was just really
Cool.
beautiful. So I went over there thinking it was going to be like an hour. I was there for 3 hours and we had such a great time just catching up and it was wonderful. But my point in that story is it could be something, and I know this is not simple. Writing a book is not simple, but it
No,
could be as something as simple as writing a book or putting things together to have that
right,
person's legacy live on. So,
right,
yeah.
right. That's wonderful. It's a beautiful story.
Yeah, I can't wait for their stuff to be published because
Oh,
it just sounds so special. And like I
yeah.
said, their oldest granddaughter, like the letters were written to her, and
Oh,
they have pictures of, and I don't know if they can find this one picture she said, but they have a picture of his mom like writing letters, and then they have a picture of
mm,
their great oldest granddaughter
reading
reading the
them.
letter. Just
Oh, oh,
it's
how
just so
beautiful.
so 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 sweet. And they have like the actual original letters. They took scans of all of them and they want to put those in the book as well and like
Wow.
super cool. So I mean like you can just have that. And that's one thing I want you to do, Mom, is like
I
you're
know, I
a great
know.
writer. I would love for you to sit down and write your story. And
Yeah,
and that will obviously entail dad at some point, right? Like
yeah,
you guys
yeah.
intertwine and all that stuff.
Well,
But I
yeah. Otherwise, she wouldn't
obviously,
be here.
obviously. But I think that would be wonderful. Not, I mean, yes, to put it out in the world, of course, so people can read it, but also just for your family.
Yeah, yeah,
So to have that in
absolutely.
the future and just not let that, I mean, people only get to live on this earth like what, if you're lucky, 80 years. If you're
Yeah,
extra lucky, 100 years. So I'll say
yeah.
100. That is a long time, but it's not a lot of time. And I'm like
No,
always like sad to think like, okay, when someone's gone, well, they're gone now. I'm like,
yeah,
no. Like,
yeah,
no, they had an impact.
yeah,
They made a mark on this world, and I want those stories to be told. So, anyways,
yeah.
I'm
Absolutely.
I digress. We'll keep going, but
Yes,
yes.
yes. Your journey of advocating for people with disabilities and speaking at various conferences has clearly been a progression. How did you begin your speaking career, and what has kept you going all these years?
Well, I began it truly the first time I ever spoke publicly was at Great Aunt Lynn's celebration
Yeah,
of life party. And that was a really difficult, that might have been one of the hardest ones I've ever done. And I
yeah.
didn't even mean to. Like, it was a total fluke, I guess. But realistically, I really knew and I really believed that Lynn was the one pulling my hand up, like
Oh,
raising my hand
absolutely.
to say,
Yeah,
like, I want to go speak about you.
yeah,
Get your butt up there and speak.
yeah.
I can see her
Yeah,
just being
that
like,
would be her.
talk about me. But that's where it started. And I don't remember the first like conference or anything like that. But I started connecting, especially when I moved back to the La Crosse area, had my design job, got into the community more. I believe I spoke at a school in the area. And then that turned into different conferences. Just again, onesie twosies. Nothing
Yeah,
like boom, 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 like what I'm like striving for now, right?
right,
But
right.
it just slowly happened. And then there was
It
years that I didn't do
evolved.
any at all.
Yeah,
And then there was
yeah,
years that, I've been technically speaking since 2012
yeah.
publicly. That's a long time. That's that's over
Yes, it
10
is.
years.
Well, a little more. Yeah, it's more than 10, 13 years.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's over 10 years.
Yeah,
So I have been speaking on stages for over 10 years. So for me to keep going, honestly, number one, I love it. I
yeah,
love, it's crazy to think about, but I absolutely love being on stage. And it's weird because then when I sit down and, okay, back up. I'm all over the place today.
yes, you are.
But when I am on a one-on-one conversation with people, I actually don't love talking about myself at
Yeah,
all. It's
yeah.
kind of weird. Like I listen a lot. Now there are people that I'm very comfortable with that I talk about my hopes and dreams to, but that's very few and far between. Like very, very minimal people I do that with to an extent. I am an open book. I do tell people like the big crazy things I want to do, but the deeper things is very, very minimal people that. But also I really like to sit and listen to other people. Now, getting on stage, I don't think about it as like, hey, I'm gonna go talk about myself for an hour. It's
No,
hey, I want the story I share to hopefully impact someone, to help them feel like they're not alone,
yeah,
that they can do amazing things. And it's truly to inspire and encourage and help people learn how to advocate for themselves. That's what keeps me going. But on the the best part about how it keeps me going, or what keeps me going, I guess, is when I have a student or someone come up to me after I'm
yeah,
speaking and say, your story's like mine.
yeah,
I don't feel alone. Or, wow,
yeah,
thank you for sharing that. I know I can do it now too.
yeah,
That is the reason. That is the reason I keep going. Not that I need the recognition either, but I am so grateful and proud of the people that have the courage to go up to a complete stranger, me,
right, right.
and open up about their journey. That
But
is
Katie,
hard to do.
the thing about that, you're right. You're absolutely right. But the thing about that is you are so approachable and you are so open and you care. And
Yeah.
that in and of itself makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. Because I do. Sometimes I feel like I care too much, but there's no such thing as caring too much. I just, I'm just so excited for people to have that feeling because I've been the person that didn't want to say a word to anyone. And
Right.
then when I got to that point to feeling like, this is who I am,
Yeah.
this is me. And that's so powerful and so like takes all the weight off. And it's
Yeah.
so wonderful to
Yeah.
feel like I'm going to continue to be me just the way I am. I don't
Yeah.
care what anyone else thinks.
That's right.
And I want that for everyone. And so just
Yeah.
having, and I know there are people in the audience that don't feel comfortable coming up, and that is okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is okay.
Absolutely.
But even at the thought that they have, or I see a quick smile or a on their face,
Yeah.
I'm like, oof, Good.
but it might open a door somewhere in the future for them
Yeah.
that, you know what, Katey said this. I think I can do this.
Yeah.
You know, it's not right at the moment, maybe, but it might open a door for them or crack it open a little bit in the future.
So I was speaking, or I went and spoke at an event at a school, and then like a year or more later, they had this like they were speaking to, I don't know if it was a governor, not a governor, but like people in politics. And these
Yeah.
students got up and spoke in front of these people in politics
Wow.
and talked about their journey in this program that
Oh,
I went and spoke at one of their events. It's not my program, but it was,
yeah.
I went and spoke at that event years ago, or a year ago at least, or more. And my friend's sitting in the audience because these are her past students, and she's so
Yeah.
proud of them, and she's still a part of that program, and that it's an amazing program. And she's sitting there, and she's like, I was sitting in the back listening, just so proud. And then I hear your name. And I'm like, what? She's like, the student called out your name and said,
Oh,
you spoke at this event in Wisconsin Dells last year, whatever year it was, and made an impact on them and made them feel comfortable enough to be able to talk about themselves. And
that's
I was
amazing.
like, what? And so again, I never heard that, right? Other than my friend told me.
Right.
Not that I have to hear that, but I was number one, the thing I said to my friend, I said, I am so proud of them
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
standing up in front of the government, different government officials,
Yeah.
and sharing their story. That's so hard to do.
Yeah.
And then let alone put my little name in there. That's fine. But I'm
Yeah.
so proud of them.
Yeah.
That's so
Exactly.
awesome. So then I was like, can I get together with them? Like I would love to see them again. So we're working on that. But
Okay.
either way, it was just really, really exciting. So yeah. Mom, you really, you do not mute fast enough because you,
Sorry. I know, but it came there before I even realized. So, sorry. More editing.
oh my freaking God.
Okay.
Last question.
Let's wrap this up now. Katey, you mentioned overcoming your fear of sharing your disability with new people, like your boyfriend, now husband. How can we support individuals who are hesitant to share their disability with others?
Honestly, number one, no one has to share. You don't have to.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to expect anyone to share anything if they don't want to. But I want to encourage people. Like I said, I think in a previous chapter, episode that we did, was share something small with someone you trust.
Yeah.
Or if you are uncomfortable doing that, share something small with a random stranger.
Yeah.
Like, like if I'm speaking in front of you at an event, come up to me.
Yeah.
I don't know you from anyone. Why would it matter? Like
Yeah.
so anyone that you kind of feel that draw to, if you want to share, and if you really do, and I truly believe sharing stories and sharing a part of you really can change people's lives, yours, yourself, your life, but
Right.
also other people's lives.
Right.
And so I think stories are just so important. But when you're comfortable, or when you're not even comfortable, but you're a tiny bit ready, share a little bit, just
Yeah.
a tiny bit,
Dip a
one little
toe
thing,
in.
one little thing, and
Yep.
that's it. And that will help you build that confidence into continuing to share if you
Absolutely.
want. I want to keep saying if you want. I really encourage you to try because it
Yeah.
really just opens up your life, your world, and just it does build that confidence and that you can be proud of who you are. Yes, internally, quietly, but also out in the open. Being like, yeah, I'm dyslexic, high five, let's do it. Or being just there. You don't have to be like that, like me, but it it does mm, it gave me the power back to be who I want to be. That's it.
Exactly. Well, and I think storytelling, as we talked about before, is a lost art. And I think storytelling can not only help us learn about each other, but about the world and what's going on and how we interact with the world. And some of that sharing has to do with acceptance of who you are. Be
Hmm.
okay with who you are and accept that. But to tell the story is way more impactful than just talking clinically about something. So tell your story, share it. Who you are is so important.
Hmm. Agreed. Thanks for that, Mom. Now
Yeah.
let's go dive into chapter 26.
See you then.
And everyone else, go down below and go listen to the podcast episode. Oh, and grab the book, obviously.
Buy that book.
Yes. All right. See you then. Because Chloe,
Sorry.
not that she
You
can hear
see
me because
someone.
she's deaf, but oh my gosh. We're all off the train tracks today. But